Children are unique. If you've ever watched children in a playground, you can quickly see that all children are not alike. It's particularly so in regard to discipline. Some children are really easy to discipline. You simply just need to look at them and raise your eyebrows a little bit and they become very compliant, whereas other children are highly demanding and they're quite a challenge to discipline. Also in regard to energy expenditure. Some children are happy to stay in the same spot, playing with the one toy for extended periods, whereas other children are like a butterfly, flitting from one activity to another activity and are always on the go, go, go. Of these latter children, the high energy children, one in particular is quite a challenge, and that's the strong-willed child. As the name suggests, these children have a very dominant, domineering will, and it's almost like they're determined to rule the world, or at least their world. The normal discipline intervention techniques like redirection and negotiation don't really work for these children, and they're liable to take great advantage of a teacher or a parent who uses such techniques. So while it's true that children are unique, it's also true that they are unique in predictable ways. The strong-willed child is born that way. It's part of their temperament. Temperament is the genetic part that's inborn in us. When we are born, this is nature expressing itself. It's our DNA, our chromosome, our genetic makeup that determines how we think, feel and act as individuals. Temperament basically can be described along two dimensions. The first dimension is an energy dimension. There are two poles or two extreme ways where people get their energy. One is called extroverts and the other is called introverts. What that basically means is an extrovert is energized by external factors, social interactions, activity outside of themselves, whereas the introvert is energized by internal processes, reflection, quiet time, stillness, focus. And the other dimension is a task relationship dimension. On the one hand, the task, people are driven to achieve their goals, and on the other dimension of relationships, people are more social focused. The social has a higher priority than doing some objective task. For the strong-willed child, they are strongly extrovert and strongly task-driven. So that accounts for why they are so driven by power and independence. Those two things are highly characteristic of a strong-willed child. Being a strong-willed child is not a disease. It's not a disorder. It's not a dysfunction. In fact, it's healthy. It's normal. This is the way the child is genetically programmed to function, and so it's good. So my suggestion would be, or advice would be, don't try and change the child then. While the child's behaviour might irritate you and be a real challenge, it doesn't mean that this child is dysfunctional or bad. What teachers and parents need to do, though, is to try and modify, try and lessen the more extremes expression of this child's behaviour. The first step in intervening in a strong-willed child's misbehaviours is to firstly identify whether or not the child is a strong-willed child.